Welcome to the Great Loop aboard the Perch. This is leg 48 of our Great Loop adventure. Today we're going from Young's Point to Bobcaygeon. We are in the heart of the Kawartha Lakes region, and you can see from our Nebro track that we're doing some weaving in and out. We stayed on the wall just above the Young's Point lock the night before and woke up to a very still, serene morning, as you can see from this video. Right around that point on the port side is the restaurant we walked to eat the night before, and the still water was just making the beautiful reflections of the trees and the sky as we set out. So here is our trek for the day. We would be going through 3 locks and continuing the beautiful cruise. Not only was the sky beautiful and the water beautiful, this is a great cruising area, so lots of islands, lots of rocks basically that are islands. This is actually the church on the rock. It is only accessible by boat and of course only open in the summers. And the scenery in this area is really just stunning, so you can see that as we're cruising by the church on the rock there. Some of you may be wondering about the Google Earth picture here. This was actually taken in the winter, although we're not cruising in the winter, so all that white you're seeing there I believe is snow and ice. But as you can see from the video, that is not what we were experiencing. And our first lock of the day is Burley Falls, and the most beautiful lock entrance I have seen. On this day, we also had my 19-year-old son aboard, so I was able, while we were on the blue line waiting to enter the lock, I was able to hop off and actually get some video of the Perch entering the lock, which you saw there. And then back out the other side of the lock, more rocks and islands, some narrow channels. You're definitely going to want to make sure that you are staying in the channel in all of these areas. But the Burley Falls lock was a beautiful lock. The next one is actually the Lovesick lock. And this is the only lock station on the Trent Severn that is on an island. So even the lock operators arrive at the lock station for work by boat. So obviously a pretty remote lock, and it can be popular as a place to tie up overnight specifically for that reason. Check out in this next video, you can see the rocks just below the surface, just outside the channel. So kind of a great example of why you're going to want to stay in the channel in this area. Our next lock was Buckhorn, and there is Jason helping with the lines. So I actually had the opportunity to take some video instead of doing some of the line handling. So in the coming weeks, I'll be putting out some video on locking through for our members. We've gotten a lot of requests for that, and it's usually hard to grab some video of that because both of us are usually pretty busy with the lines and locks. So having the third person aboard allowed us to get a little bit of extra video. So as we continued towards Bobcaygeon, we went under that bridge, and this was a weekend day. It was actually a Saturday. So Bobcaygeon is one of the more popular lock stations, one of the busier areas, and it being a Saturday, this was no exception. So we were hoping to be able to tie up either above or below the lock at Bobcaygeon, and kind of pulled into a nearby marina just before the lock to pump out, and they were able to call the lock station for us, and we found out that the lock walls were already full, so you see us backtracking there. We went to an anchorage nearby, dropped the hook, spent the afternoon paddleboarding and swimming and just enjoying the perfect weather and the beautiful scenery. And when we kind of had our fill of that, we did pick up the anchor and tied up at that marina we had mentioned so that we would have an opportunity to go into town and enjoy that. But that is our overall Nebro track for the day. We had 4 hours underway, went close to 30 miles and averaged about 6 knots. And there's another look at our track for the day. The legend for the color coding on the track in terms of what speed that is there at the bottom. So this was our trip again from Young's Point to Bobcaygeon. Beautiful cruising, a great day, weather was perfect. We'll be back next with a continuation of the part of the Trent Severn that is in the Kawartha Lakes. We'll be going from Bobcaygeon to Fenland Falls. Thanks for watching.